Okay, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922 here. Trigun. Now, as I said before in the Kaizen episode review, this is going to be a double episode review. Now, the good news is episode 5 is majority action. Customs. Anyway, majority action. Now, what surprised to me, which obviously the original anime had this character who was basically with knives called Mid-Valley the Horn Freak. Now, he's part of the Gung Ho Guns. Now, the anime doesn't call them the Gung Ho Guns. They call them Knives Collection. Collection of knives. Now, in the original anime, he fights Vash. Here, it's a different story. But let's start off from the beginning. Let's start out with episode 4. Now, episode 4 is not like episode 5. Episode 5 is just mostly fighting. Episode 4, there's a lot of setup, some very gruesome deaths. Like, okay. And I'm beginning to realize here how tamed the original anime was. Because obviously that was on TV, it was on Adult Swim. So, any scene with Blue Summer's Elgato was tamed. Legato, I mean. Any scene with Legato was tamed compared to what he does in this show. So we get the whole beginning of the episode, which is basically a hodgepodge of Vash. Everybody's having omelets. Yeah, Jessica made them. And we get a scene back with knives and Legato and Mid-Valley Horn Freak. There's this girl with blonde hair. I don't know who she is. I think it's this character who's supposed to be Knives and Vash's sister, Tesla. But can't be confirmed. Anyway, the reason why Knives looks like that is because they were able to get his remains. And they're basically doing is they're using the plants to reconstruct his body. Now, surprise, surprise, this process does take a toll because he's basically killing plants. But he gets to a point. And the episode is really focused on those two fronts. So, Midsummer is about to go out with Legato, and this girl who I think is Tesla is telling him, "Oh, why don't you attack Knives since he's defenseless and he can't do it? He's got a hold on a Horn Freak, Mid-Valley Horn Freak." So they leave and they encounter these people. This has got to be the most disgusting scene I have seen in this show so far. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen the original anime, but okay, yeah, Legato did some crazy shit. He killed a lot of guys. But because that was on Adult Swim, and because that was on like a TV broadcast, obviously the anime just was tamed. We didn't see any, He's got these guys flying in the air, and he stuffs them in a tanker. Like a tanker pulled by a semi. And he stuffed, oh my word, so much blood. It was gruesome. Then there's this other guy who's trying to attack them, And Mid Valley's there, and he uses his saxophone, cuts the guy's head off. And we get also another scene when Knives first encounters Midsummer Horn Freak, and his band basically kills people with their sound. And he's not killed, and Knives completely dismembers his entire band and kills them. I don't think that was an episode. I'm not sure if it was though the flashback was in episode 4 or 5. But anyway, that's more or less what happens. And towards the end of the episode, they decide to go after Vash. Surprise, surprise, they need Vash to resurrect Knives. I don't know why, but they do. Overall, episode 4 was mostly just setup. So I'm not really going to high it that high. Still pretty gruesome. I would say 9 out of 10. However, the following episode, OMG. So, the next episode is this altercation between Midsummer, Horn Freak, and Woodruff. Nicholas D. Woodruff. Wolf. I can't say his name. Save me. I apologize. Wolfwood. So, Wolfwood is going to fight the guy. Because what's happening is Brad's trying to reconfigure Vash's arm, robotic arm, and he's in the process. And they hear this loud noise, and apparently Wolfwood knows this guy. And in the past, 5 years later, he kind of heard about him. Because I think they worked in the same company with Knives. Now, he left Wolfwood, and I got to applaud one thing. Let me look this up, because the guy who's playing Wolfwood, I just want to look him up for a sec. Just for shits and giggles. Just to see what he's been in. Okay. Alright, Stray Dog. Just want to go scroll down and see what else he's been in. Okay, so he's been in a few uninteresting animes. Oh, he was Reiner. Okay. That makes sense. But anyway, he was a very good voice actor. Anyway, so in this episode, which is episode 5, called Wonderful World, it's Mid-Valley Horn Freak against Wolfwood, which did not happen in the original. But the original was like anime-only show, because it wasn't following the manga to a T. So instead, we have this going on. It is a pretty crazy battle. Because basically what's happening is Wolfwood is using his Punisher, which, by the way, is 2 things, apparently. It's a machine gun and it's a laser cannon. Holy shit. And Mid-Valley is basically blocking his attack and attacking him with his sound, which basically cuts people in half, like kind of thing. But he dodges it. I truthfully really enjoyed this fight. This was beautifully animated, beautifully shown. And the one thing that I find very intriguing about it was sound. Like, the sound that was being produced and the sound effects were off the charts, in my opinion. And the conclusion was so surreal, because Wolfwood blocks an attack by Horn Freak, and he gets the blowback of it, and he's blind. Legitimately, and his eyes become bloodshot. I was like, what the hell? Case in point, the battle was pretty fierce, and it was back and forth, and I really liked it. honestly, I kind of want to give this a 10 out of 10 based on just the execution of the fight and how it was being orchestrated. Now, what ends on really happening towards the end is they, he, you know, there's that instance where he gets almost blind, he gets blinded and he's about to shoot him. It doesn't work. And then Horn Freak tries to use his sound on the ship itself, and there's feedback and goes right back at him because they get this feedback that he got was to disguise Vash's approach. Because then what happens is Vash shows up behind him, and basically we get a scene where Vash goes to meet Puppet Master, and Puppet Master basically tells him, Leon, the Leone guy, I think the name's Alien, basically tells him that Leonov, anyway, basically tells him that about the feedback thing, and he's able to approach him, and he just go boom, boom, boom. There's like 3 or 4 shots to a saxophone. It's destroyed. And that's basically what happened. Then we basically have them all gathering together. They have him now, but now the others are going to come into play. And then basically what ends on happening, they attack the ship with their ship. And we got freaking Legato. He's like, "Oh, Sir Knives!" He's like rubbing the glass of his casing, where the glass casing he's in. And I'm like, dude, Legato, do you want to like get like a... But that was basically it. Those were the 2 episodes. So, I guess next week it's gonna get really crazy. We're gonna get this whole confrontation. And like I said, it seems like they need Vash. They need him to bring back Knives, which is a kind of interesting scenario. But that's basically what ends on happening. I actually liked this fight. I thought it was... I just liked it. I don't know why. I think it's because Wolfwood was fighting in it. So I would say... I'm not going to give a straight off 10. I'm going to say 9.5. 9.5. Episode 4, 9, this, 9.5. Pretty solid all around. So now we got to wait until next week. You know, this altercation with these 2 ships. I'm guessing Legato's gonna do shit. Oh my god. God, man. And it's funny too, because as someone who's watched the original anime, to see it like this and to see Legato kill people like this is totally surreal. Totally surreal. Completely different anime altogether. But that's all I got for you guys. Bankai Night 22. I'm guessing tomorrow night I'm probably going to do the same with Hell's Paradise. Like, I could do the episode right now, but not sure. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I'll see you guys later.